Hey, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media here with our Atlantic Division preview. Starting out with the Boston Celtics. Tatum is probably going to be out with the season. I know there's some talk. Maybe he can come back late, but let's just work on the assumption that he is out for the year. Obviously, he's going to be out for most of the year no matter what. Gone are Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Luke Cornett. So what you're looking at is the initial window or championship window, how you want to put it, for the Boston Celtics. It's kind of closed. You might say they've left it ajar, but it's kind of closed. And for me in this group, I'm really, really going to be interested to see how Anthony Simons fits in with this group. I thought it was an interesting acquisition by Boston to bring him in. I don't think they'll bottom out. Because they still have enough. You still have like Jaylen Brown. They still have enough to win games, especially in the East. It's just they won't be a contender, a legitimate contender for the first time in several seasons. That's all. The New York Knicks were on the doorstep last season of the NBA Finals. Of course, when you do that, why not fire the coach? and so Tom Thibodeau is out. Mike Brown and his point five system will post up in Gotham. If you don't know what the point five system is, it's similar to look back at like the 2010 Spurs. Point five means it refers to how long you have to make a decision. So when the ball touches your hands, you have point five seconds to either drive it, shoot it, pass it, but it should not stick. Now, you watch the Knicks last year, they were the anti point five system. But anyway, that's what Mike Brown is bringing to New York. They have added Jordan Clarkson and Gershon Yabusele to provide depth, and for the Knicks, obviously, to provide veteran depth. So the one thing that you will see if there is buy-in in this system, and you'll find out early on, will be how many dribbles Jalen Brunson takes. He led the NBA last season in dribbles, and that's by far, by the way. And that was with missing, 7, 8 games last season he missed, and he still led the league in dribbles. So you'll see the buy-in in those games, and you can look at that, the dribbling and what Brunson's doing, and if he's getting it out of his hands. The Toronto Raptors, if the Raptors are healthy, they might have the second best starting five in the Atlantic Division. They might. Toronto will have Brandon Ingram for the entire season, add him to Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Jacob Podol. So that is a very solid inside out starting lineup. If Grady Dick can improve off of the bench, he had his high points last year, and Jamal Sheed and intriguing rookie Colin Murray Boyles. If they are ready to contribute, that gives them a very solid 8-man rotation. You can add in a ninth guy in there somewhere, depending on the situation. But on most nights in the East, that's going to be a competitive rotation that can score certainly from 2 levels, if not all 3 levels. So yeah, the names might not be sexy, and I get that, but certainly they can put some wins up in the East. The Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are the Nets, man. They had the strangest draft selections in the NBA, and the roster doesn't indicate that the front office has a defined plan unless they are just trying to like move people. I thought Washington had more than a plan, and we'll get to them in our other thing. But why watch? Igor Demon and Drake Powell are the reasons to watch. Those are 2 rookies that can certainly help shape the future of Brooklyn. Demon, can he justify being picked with the 8th pick? And Drake Powell was grossly misused at North Carolina. So can he get the opportunity to show you who he is in the NBA? For the Philadelphia 76ers, the question is always going to be, can they stay healthy? Joel Embiid and Paul George haven't been able to be on the floor enough together to make a true impact and get this team to get deep into the playoffs. And I don't really know how much Paul George still has on the tread. I would be more worried if both of them were healthy. I would be more worried about Paul George's play than Joel Embiid's play. I still think if Embiid's healthy, you know you're going to get out of Embiid. Paul George, I'm just not sure. I think his thing is his tread is starting to get super duper thin on those tires. And then, of course, it's the depth. VJ Edgecombe certainly gives them a rookie that's explosive, along with reserves like Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes. You know, how much does that group impact winning? Now, again, when they're going to be playing the tankathon teams, they can be not full strength and they'll win. They'll get their wins. The thing is when you have those, 3 games in 5 nights, 4 games in 7 nights, and you're on the road and these teams aren't banged up. What do you do against I'm not even talking about the top teams. What do you do against the teams in the middle? And that's what's going to determine the Sixers record. What they do against the teams in the middle in this league. If they win those games or they win, 60% of those games, Philadelphia's record is going to be pretty good. If they win 40% of those games, Philadelphia could be in the play-in tournament. My predicted order of finish, I like the Knicks to win the division. I like the Raptors, yes, and a surprise to finish second. Philadelphia to finish third, Boston to finish fourth, and Brooklyn to finish fifth. Marcus Washington, MTC Media.